A peaceful lake turns into a battleground when Karen, the HOA president, challenges Evan Miller's ownership, trying to seize his private property. As tension builds, Karen's manipulative tactics and vandalism escalate the conflict. But Evan, standing firm with truth and fairness, refuses to back down. The dramatic standoff peaks with a police intervention, and despite Karen's threats, the community begins to see through her lies. In the end, Karen's power crumbles, leading to her arrest, while Evan's commitment to justice restores peace to the lake. In the tranquil waters of a serene lake, nestled at the edge of town's picturesque landscape, Karen stood tall and resolute. The HOA president had lived on this idyllic piece of land for years, cherishing its peaceful charm before it was abruptly invaded by Evan Miller, who claimed ownership over the property that lay beneath her feet. Evan, a man known to be a wealthy businessman with deep roots in the local community, had always been passionate about renovating and restoring old homes. After inheriting his father's estate from a distant relative, he spent years meticulously restoring the lakefront properties around town, transforming them into exclusive vacation rentals that catered to guests seeking an escape from the stresses of daily life. Evan's vision for the lake was grand. He envisioned it as a sanctuary where visitors could indulge in outdoor activities such as boating, fishing, and water sports. However, Karen was not impressed with Evan's dream. The lake had always been a peaceful haven that brought tranquility to its residents and served as an essential source of livelihood for local farmers. As the owner, she understood the importance of preserving the natural beauty surrounding her property and ensuring that it remained in harmony with the community. Karen stood at the water's edge, gazing out over the shimmering waters before her, a sense of frustration etched on her face. The lake was once picturesque, teeming with life. Native fish swam gracefully around the rocks. Families lounged by the shoreline, while children played and laughed in the shallow waters. But now, everything seemed to have changed. Over time, Evan's renovation projects began to infringe upon Karen's vision for the lake, causing her considerable distress. He had transformed one of the most cherished areas into a bustling commercial park complete with restaurants, bars, and luxury resorts. The change not only altered the beauty of the lake, but also disrupted the local community's way of life. Karen knew that she couldn't let Evan continue to destroy the tranquility of the lake by encroaching upon her property. She had always been a firm believer in preserving the natural environment for future generations, and she believed that anyone who sought profit from it should be held accountable for their actions. That was why she challenged Evan's ownership claim through legal channels. The confrontation between Karen and Evan began on a warm summer evening when the HOA president made her pitch to the town council about expanding the commercial park further north along the lakefront, thereby diluting its impact on the peaceful ambience of the original properties. As the discussion intensified, tensions rose, with both parties voicing their opinions. Evan's argument was based on the assertion that his business venture would bring economic growth and job opportunities to the local community while maintaining the tranquility of the lake's natural surroundings. He argued that the commercial park would create a bustling hub of activity, attracting visitors from all over, thus increasing revenue for small businesses and helping revitalize the once idyllic lakefront. Karen countered Evan's claims by emphasizing the importance of preserving the delicate ecosystem around the lake and ensuring that its pristine beauty remained intact. She explained how her vision for the lake was not just about economic growth, but also a means to protect the wildlife, maintain natural habitats, and preserve the town's cultural heritage. The council members listened intently as Karen spoke, their ears absorbing every word she said. The debate raged on for hours until an unexpected police intervention came in to save the day. An officer from the local department arrived at the lakefront with a warrant issued against Evan Miller. They arrested him without incident and took him away into custody. The community erupted in shock. As they watched their beloved HOA president being taken into custody, anger building by the residents who had long believed that their land was rightfully theirs. The council members began to question their authority and the effectiveness of local law enforcement in enforcing property rights. As Evan's arrest served as a wake-up call for everyone involved, Karen found herself facing renewed scrutiny. The legal battle against Evan's claims continued, with Karen seeking the help of attorneys who fought for her vision of preserving the lake's tranquility while ensuring its economic benefits for the community. The court proceedings were tense and emotionally charged, with both sides presenting compelling arguments as they challenged each other's reasoning. As the trial progressed, Karen stood before a judge determined to ensure that Evan Miller would face justice for his actions. She argued that the commercial park expansion was not only detrimental to her property, but also violated local laws by encroaching on protected land. With the support of environmentalists and conservationists who rallied behind her cause, Karen presented compelling evidence demonstrating how the park's construction had already caused irreversible damage to the lake ecosystem. The judge listened intently as Karen detailed the changes made in the original properties and their impact on wildlife populations, water quality, and natural habitats. The judge acknowledged that Evan Miller may have been motivated by his desire for profit, but ultimately failed to consider the potential consequences of his actions on the environment. After a long and arduous trial, the jury returned a verdict against Evan Miller in favor of Karen's claims. The judge ruled that the commercial park expansion was illegal, and Evan must halt all construction projects within 30 days unless he obtained a special permit from the town council or obtained permission from state environmental regulators. The community erupted into cheers as they watched their beloved HOA president being released on bail after years of legal struggle. Karen's victory not only restored her property, but also served as an important turning point in the ongoing battle against Evan Miller and his vision for encroaching upon the natural beauty of the lakefront. As news spread, the town council met to discuss the potential impacts of the commercial park expansion on future development plans, with residents voicing their concerns about the loss of tranquility and local heritage. The HOA president emphasized that her fight was not just a personal vendetta, but an effort to protect the community's long-standing traditions and values. In the end, Karen's triumph served as a catalyst for positive change in the lakefront neighborhood. With Evan Miller arrested and his construction projects halted, the town council began discussions about alternative economic development opportunities that would maintain the natural beauty of the lake while ensuring its residents' well-being. A new park plan to be located closer to the original properties was proposed, with provisions aimed at preserving the tranquil ambience and protecting wildlife habitats. As Karen presided over the groundbreaking ceremony for the brand-new park in early spring 2023, she felt a sense of pride knowing that her vision had been realized after years of perseverance. She looked out over the lush greenery and picturesque lake, grateful to have fought for what was right, even when it seemed like all hope had disappeared. The long-awaited commercial park expansion became a symbol of progress in the community's efforts to restore harmony between the natural environment and its residents. The peaceful lake turned into a shining beacon of hope, inspiring future generations to cherish their unique landscapes and protect them from harm. As Karen looked back on her journey, she knew that it was not just about owning or maintaining property, but also about preserving the values that have shaped our world for centuries: love, compassion, and respect for nature. As Karen stood at the top of her hill, surrounded by a sea of trees and greenery that stretched as far as she could see, she couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of pride. The lake on which she had worked tirelessly for years was now transformed into a bustling commercial park. It had been proposed to expand the existing property boundaries in order to create a new park near the original lake. Side homes and businesses. The idea behind this plan was simple: to preserve the tranquil ambience, natural beauty, and wildlife habitats that were so dear to Karen's heart. The goal was not just for economic growth, but also for ensuring future generations could enjoy the same peaceful experience without the constant threat of development and pollution that had plagued the area in recent years. The groundbreaking ceremony took place on a sunny Saturday morning in early spring 2023, surrounded by friends, family members, and local residents who had been eagerly awaiting this moment. As Karen stood at center stage, her eyes met those of Evan Miller, the CEO of the company that owned the original lakeside properties. Despite their long-standing animosity over a decade ago, they were both determined to work together towards a common goal. Evan listened attentively as Karen explained her vision for the new park, sharing stories of how she had spent countless hours exploring and restoring the area's natural beauty. He marveled at how much progress had been made in recent years, with the addition of lush greenery, stunning water features, and numerous trails that allowed visitors to connect with nature. As Karen spoke, her voice filled with determination. This park is not just about selling land or expanding our business footprint. It's about preserving the values that have shaped our world for centuries: love, compassion, and respect for nature. We can't afford to lose sight of these principles when we're working towards economic growth. Evan nodded in agreement, feeling a pang of jealousy mixed with admiration. He had always believed that his company's success was due not just to its business acumen, but also to the way it operated within society and respected local communities. "What are you proposing?" Evan asked, narrowing his eyes as he looked at Karen's vision for the commercial park. "Are you willing to sell our properties to fund this project?" Karen smiled triumphantly, her heart racing with excitement. She knew that selling their land would not only benefit their company, but also help protect the natural environment and ensure a better future for everyone in the community. "We have been considering your proposal," Karen replied, taking a deep breath before continuing. "But I believe we can do this together. We want to create a park that is both sustainable and profitable for our business, while preserving the land's unique beauty and providing opportunities for residents to enjoy nature." Evan hesitated for a moment before nodding in agreement once again. He knew that there were valid concerns about the potential impact of commercial development on the natural environment, but he also recognized Karen's passion and dedication to making this happen. "I understand your concerns," Evan admitted, his voice softened as he spoke. "But we need to be mindful of how our actions affect not only ourselves, but also future generations. We can't afford to lose sight of the values that have shaped us for centuries." Karen nodded again, her determination unwavering despite any obstacles she might face. She knew that it would take a great deal of effort and collaboration from both companies, as well as local stakeholders such as government officials and environmental organizations, in order to create a park that truly reflected their vision. "I am ready to work with you," Karen declared, turning to the other party with renewed determination. "Together, we can turn this peaceful lake into an oasis of beauty, inspiration, and sustainability for all who call it home." With those words, Karen stepped forward, holding out her hand to Evan Miller, eager to embark on a journey that would change their lives forever. The next few weeks were filled with intense negotiations between the two companies as they worked together to secure funding for the new park. They faced numerous challenges along the way, including opposition from local residents and potential investors who were hesitant about investing in an area known for its environmental risks. Despite these obstacles, Karen refused to give up her vision of a sustainable development that would benefit both their company and the community at large. She knew that change was necessary if they wanted to create a world where people could enjoy nature without harm to its delicate ecosystems. In October 2023, after months of hard work and dedication, Karen struck a deal with Evan Miller's company, securing funding for the commercial park expansion project. The transaction marked a significant milestone in their journey towards creating an environment that would prioritize sustainability, conservation, and community well-being. The next few weeks were dedicated to planning and preparation, as Karen worked closely with local authorities and environmental organizations to ensure that all necessary permits, regulations, and guidelines were obtained before the park's construction began. This included obtaining a permit from the State Department of Natural Resources for land development, securing funding through grants from government agencies, such as the National Park Service and the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and working with local community groups and environmental activists to ensure that their voices were heard. As the groundbreaking ceremony for the new park took place in late May 2023, Karen stood at center stage once again, this time surrounded by a sea of smiling faces. The lake was now transformed into a vibrant oasis, teeming with life as visitors came and went through its lush greenery and water features. The commercial park expansion project had finally been realized, providing residents with new opportunities to connect with nature while preserving their unique landscapes for future generations. It marked the beginning of a new chapter in the community's history, where people could enjoy a world that was both prosperous and sustainable, fostering harmony between nature and humanity. Karen knew that this would not be an easy journey, but she felt confident that together they had created something truly special, a place that celebrated the values that have shaped their world for centuries, while providing a home to all who called it home. As she looked out over the new park, her heart was filled with pride and gratitude, knowing that she had played a crucial role in shaping its future through her dedication and perseverance. As the sun began to set over the peaceful lake, Karen's determination remained unwavering. The HOA president had always been passionate about preserving her community for future generations, and this was no exception when it came to the commercial park expansion project. Despite facing numerous challenges along the way, including opposition from Evan Miller, a developer who sought control of the land, Karen refused to give up on her vision. Evan had built his empire around profit-driven ventures in recent years, often exploiting natural resources and destroying local ecosystems. But as he stood before the lake's shores, looking at the once tranquil body of water transformed into lush greenery teeming with life, he couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt for what he was doing to the environment. Evan had always been interested in sustainable development and knew that the commercial park expansion project would not only bring economic growth to the community, but also contribute significantly towards preserving its unique natural heritage. However, as he listened to Karen's passionate plea about protecting the lake from harm, Evan began to question whether his interests were truly aligned with her vision. Karen stood tall, a look of determination etched on her face. "Evan," she said firmly, "this isn't just about us and our personal ambitions. It's about preserving the integrity of this place for future generations to come." She paused for a moment as if weighing her words carefully, before continuing with an intensity that spoke volumes. "We've faced countless obstacles along the way, but I believe we can turn this around," Karen said, taking a deep breath and addressing Evan directly. We need to work together to find a solution that respects the natural beauty of our lake and ensures its long-term viability for both humans and wildlife. Evan's eyes narrowed as he studied Karen's words, his mind racing with possibilities. He had always been opposed to large-scale development projects in the area due to their potential impact on local ecosystems. But what if this was just one more example where a developer would prioritize profit over preserving the natural beauty of a place? As they stood there together, discussing their goals and priorities, Karen's voice grew louder as she spoke about how the commercial park expansion project could not be allowed to undermine the lake's unique ecosystem. She explained that the area had been designated as a protected zone due to its rich biodiversity, which meant that any development activities would need to be carefully planned and executed in accordance with strict environmental regulations. Evan hesitated for a moment before nodding in agreement, his expression betraying both concern and frustration. "I understand your concerns," he said softly, trying to convey the complexities of the situation. "But if we're going to make this happen, it's not just about preserving our environment. It's also about ensuring that our community remains a vibrant and prosperous place for future generations." Karen nodded again, her determination unwavering as she shared her vision for the park. She envisioned it becoming a hub of innovation, attracting visitors from all over the world who were drawn to its natural beauty and sustainable practices. The commercial park would be transformed into a haven for wildlife, with designated habitats for various species such as fish, birds, and mammals. Karen explained that there would also be educational programs offered within the area, allowing residents to learn about the importance of preserving their environment while appreciating the diverse ecological values found in this region. She emphasized how these initiatives could help inspire a culture of environmental stewardship among the community members, creating a shared sense of responsibility towards protecting the lake and its surrounding ecosystems. Evan listened intently as Karen outlined her plan, his heart pounding with excitement at the potential benefits that such a project would bring to their community. He knew firsthand how important it was for communities like this one to embrace sustainable development practices, recognizing the long-term value they could provide in preserving our natural heritage and ensuring its resilience against environmental challenges. As the conversation continued, Karen's confidence grew stronger with each step she took towards her goals. She acknowledged that there would be no easy solution to their dilemma, but as long as both Evan and the community worked together, they had a chance to create something truly remarkable. Evan nodded once more before turning his attention back to the lake. "We need to take this project seriously," he said with conviction, looking at Karen's determined expression. "Together, we can make it happen. Let us work towards creating a park that not only meets our community's needs, but also protects and celebrates the natural beauty of this place." Karen smiled warmly as she nodded in agreement once more, her heart filled with hope for a future where their vision for the commercial park expansion project could become a reality. As they continued to discuss their plans, Karen knew that it wouldn't be an easy journey, but together, they had the strength and determination to make it happen. The sun began its descent below the horizon as they stood there at the lake's shores, watching as the peaceful body of water transformed once again into a vibrant oasis. As they looked out over the new park, their hearts filled with pride in what they had accomplished so far, knowing that this was just the beginning of a journey towards creating a community where nature and humanity would coexist in harmony. The Lake of Promise, the peaceful lake, was nestled in the heart of a small town, surrounded by lush forests and rolling hills. It had been a place of tranquility for generations, a haven where families would go to picnic, swim, or simply relax on lazy afternoons. However, as time went by, it began to take on an unforeseen significance. Karen, the HOA president, became increasingly passionate about transforming this natural wonder into a thriving commercial park expansion project. Karen had always been drawn to the beauty of nature and its potential to bring communities together. She believed that through collaboration, community-driven initiatives could revitalize struggling neighborhoods and create economic opportunities for all residents. As she delved deeper into Evan Miller's ownership proposal, Karen realized that he was not only a visionary, but also an experienced developer with a track record of successfully transforming abandoned properties into thriving businesses. Evan had approached the lake property from multiple angles, proposing various plans to develop the area, including a mixed-use development that would include retail stores, residential units, and green spaces. However, Karen wasn't convinced that this was the right approach for their community, especially when it came to preserving the natural beauty of the lake. As they sat together discussing their vision, Karen could see the passion in Evan's eyes and the determination behind his proposals. She knew that if he were truly committed to creating a park that would meet the needs of her community while also celebrating its unique natural landscape, there was no better partner than herself. Karen suggested holding a town hall meeting where residents could voice their opinions on the project. The idea quickly gained traction as Karen realized that many people shared her vision for the lake and were eager to get involved in shaping its future. She organized a series of workshops and forums, inviting experts from environmental conservation groups, park management professionals, and community leaders to share their perspectives. One day, as they stood on the banks of the lake, surrounded by enthusiastic participants, Karen proposed that the town should join forces with local businesses to form a steering committee responsible for managing the development process. This would allow them to work together in concert, leveraging each other's expertise and resources while ensuring that the park met the needs of all stakeholders. The group worked tirelessly throughout the summer months, conducting surveys, holding public meetings, and collaborating on project plans. They faced numerous challenges along the way, including opposition from some who were skeptical about the commercialization of a beloved natural space and concerns over potential environmental impacts. But Karen refused to let these obstacles deter her from their goal. She understood that this was not just a park, it was a platform for community engagement, economic growth, and environmental conservation. By partnering with local businesses, she hoped to create jobs in the surrounding area, attract visitors from around the region, and foster a sense of ownership among residents. As the construction work on the commercial park began, Karen met with Evan regularly to discuss progress updates, address any concerns or issues that arose along the way, and ensure that they were working towards common goals. They also worked closely with local environmental agencies to mitigate potential negative impacts on the lake's ecosystem while developing a comprehensive sustainability plan. As time went by, the commercial park took shape, transforming the once undeveloped shoreline into a thriving hub of activity. Restaurants, shops, and attractions filled the streets, offering visitors an endless array of experiences that catered to all ages and interests. The park became a symbol of community resilience and determination, bringing people from all walks of life together for a shared purpose. One of the most significant accomplishments came when they successfully launched a successful crowdfunding campaign, raising over $1 million towards the construction of the commercial park. This funding not only helped fund vital infrastructure projects, but also allowed them to work with local businesses to bring their unique products and services to the park. The opening day of the commercial park was a triumph for everyone involved. As residents, visitors, and employees gathered on the lake's shores, Karen led the ribbon-cutting ceremony, acknowledging the hard work that had been put into creating this beautiful space. She thanked Evan and his team for their dedication to preserving the natural beauty of the lake, while also making it accessible to all. As the sun began its descent below the horizon, the park became a shining beacon of hope in the community's struggling economy. The commercial zone attracted new businesses, visitors from nearby towns, and residents who were eager to experience the unique blend of nature and commerce that Evan had envisioned. Karen knew that this was just the beginning of their journey towards creating a thriving community where both people and nature could coexist peacefully. As they stood on the shore once again, looking out over the bustling commercial park, Karen couldn't help but feel grateful for the opportunity to work alongside so many talented individuals who shared her vision. She knew that this was not just another project. It was an ambitious effort to transform a beloved natural wonder into something truly special. For years to come, she would continue to monitor the progress of their Herschel Park expansion project, ensuring that its success meets the needs and aspirations of her community while preserving the lake's unique natural beauty for generations to come. And as they stood there at the lake's shores once again, surrounded by a sense of pride in what had been accomplished so far, Karen knew that this was just the beginning of an exciting chapter in their journey towards creating a thriving and harmonious community. In the heart of a peaceful and idyllic lake, nestled amidst towering trees and crystal-clear waters, Evan Miller stood at the edge of his dream project. This was no ordinary commercial park. It had been meticulously planned with a keen eye for both functionality and aesthetics, aiming to become a thriving community that would bring people together in harmony with nature. Evan's vision was simple yet ambitious. Transform this once idyllic lake into a sanctuary where businesses could thrive while preserving the delicate balance of flora and fauna. He had envisioned an area that allowed visitors and residents alike to immerse themselves in the natural beauty, engage in outdoor activities such as hiking, fishing, and picnicking, all within easy reach of shops, restaurants, and green spaces. The commercial park was a verdant oasis built on reclaimed land, with lush gardens, walking trails, and picnic areas that hugged the shores. The development encompassed several blocks of buildings ranging from modern apartments to small businesses offering everything from eco-friendly stores to locally sourced food stalls. A vast array of shops selling unique handmade crafts, organic produce, and artisanal products was located along the lakeside pathways, creating a vibrant retail hub for residents and visitors alike. As the sun began to set over the lake's serene surface, Evan stood before his team of dedicated contractors, who worked tirelessly to bring his vision into reality. The project had been in the works for years, but the moment he stepped foot on site was truly breathtaking. An explosion of colors and textures that transformed the once bland landscape into a thriving ecosystem. The first thing that struck Evan as he walked through the park were the towering trees that towered above him, their leaves rustling gently underfoot in the gentle breeze. The lush greenery contrasted beautifully with the vibrant hues of the flowers blooming along the paths and gardens, creating a tapestry of life that seemed to dance upon the water's surface. The commercial park was designed to foster an environment where people could connect not only with nature, but also each other. It had been carefully crafted to promote community engagement through various amenities such as a fitness center, outdoor amphitheater, and playground for children. The green spaces provided ample opportunities for residents to enjoy the fresh air while engaging in activities like yoga classes, sports games, or picnics. The buildings themselves were designed with an emphasis on sustainable materials and energy-efficient designs, reflecting Evan's vision of creating a community that was both environmentally friendly and economically viable. The apartments featured large windows that allowed natural light to fill the spaces, promoting health and well-being for residents while minimizing their impact on indoor air quality. As night fell over the lake, the commercial park transformed into a magical wonderland. Soft lighting cascaded from hanging lanterns and fairy lights, casting an inviting glow across the gardens and paths. The twinkling stars above provided a stunning backdrop for evening walks or stargazing parties with friends and family. Over time, Evan's vision became reality, and the commercial park quickly gained recognition as one of the most beloved destinations in the region. People flocked to this beautiful oasis from all over the city to experience its unique charm and embrace nature's tranquility. The community grew around Evan, fostering a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose among residents and businesses alike. The lake became not only an outdoor paradise, but also a symbol of progress and resilience in the face of environmental challenges. As more people began to appreciate the importance of preserving natural habitats for future generations, Evan's vision thrived under the watchful eye of local conservation organizations that worked tirelessly to protect the region's unique ecosystem from harm. One such organization was the Wildlife Protection Society, WPS, a nonprofit dedicated to safeguarding and restoring wildlife habitats. WPS had recognized the importance of maintaining the lake's delicate balance, so they partnered with Evan and his team on several initiatives aimed at improving the park's ecological health and promoting sustainable practices among businesses and residents. Together, they launched an education program that taught visitors about the benefits of preserving natural resources and how to implement environmentally friendly practices in their daily lives. The WPS also worked with local schools to establish a green space initiative, where students could learn about conservation efforts while engaging in hands-on activities such as planting trees or cleaning up litter. The commercial park's success was not just a reflection of Evan's vision, but also the collective effort and dedication of his community members who had rallied around his cause. The WPS played a crucial role in promoting environmental awareness, inspiring others to take action towards preserving nature, and encouraging businesses and residents alike to adopt sustainable practices that would benefit both their communities and future generations. The commercial park continued its transformation into a thriving ecosystem over the years, with new developments and amenities being added to create an even more inviting destination for visitors. As Evan watched as his vision of creating a harmonious community among nature and commerce came to life before him, he knew that it was only just begun. The lake would continue to evolve, inspiring generations of people to appreciate the beauty and importance of preserving our natural world while fostering a sense of connection with one another. And so, in this peaceful and idyllic lake's embrace, Evan Miller stood at the edge of his dream project, knowing that he had not only succeeded in transforming it into something truly special, but also played a pivotal role in shaping the future of his community. As he looked out over the shimmering waters and marveled at the beauty around him, he knew that this was just the beginning, an exciting chapter filled with opportunity for growth, innovation, and sustainability, one where nature and commerce would continue to coexist harmoniously, creating a legacy that would endure long after his footsteps left its mark. The sun began to set over the serene lake as Karen, the president of a private HOA called Harmony's Lake, stood at its edge. The calm waters reflected the gentle glow from the setting sun, casting an inviting light across her peaceful oasis. Evan had spent years working tirelessly on his dream project, creating a community that would not only preserve and protect nature, but also provide residents with access to luxurious amenities like hiking trails, state-of-the-art facilities, and stunning beaches. Evan's vision for Harmony's Lake was nothing short of ambitious. A place where people could come together in harmony, fostering an environment where they felt connected to the natural world around them. He had envisioned a community that would attract visitors from all over the region, who would discover the beauty of the lake and its surrounding area while enjoying various activities like swimming, boating, fishing, and camping. As he stood there, admiring his creation with pride, Evan couldn't help but reflect on how far he had come since arriving in Harmony's Lake. The lake was no longer just a place for relaxation and recreation. It had evolved into a thriving hub of community activity, attracting both locals and visitors from all over the world. The first thing to notice when you arrive at Harmony's Lake is its stunning natural beauty. Vast stretches of crystal clear water stretching out as far as the eye could see, interrupted only by towering palm trees that swayed gently in the breeze. The lush greenery surrounding the lake was a testament to Evan's vision for environmental sustainability. He had worked tirelessly to create an ecosystem that would thrive alongside human activity. One of the key features of Harmony's Lake was its hiking trails, which offered stunning views of the water and the surrounding landscape. As Evan walked along the winding paths, he marveled at how everything seemed so interconnected, a natural cycle unfolding before his eyes. He knew that these trails were not just recreational opportunities, but also meant to educate visitors on the importance of preserving nature for future generations. Evan's vision for Harmony's Lake was further enhanced by its state-of-the-art facilities. The community had invested heavily in sports and wellness centers, offering a wide range of activities like swimming pools, fitness studios, yoga classes, and tennis courts. These amenities not only catered to residents, but also attracted visitors looking to experience the best that Harmony's Lake had to offer. One particular highlight was the beachfront property, a stretch of golden sand perfect for sunbathing and enjoying the crystal clear water. The sandy shores were lined with palm trees, providing shade from the warm summer rays while offering a sense of tranquility amidst the bustling activities on the lake. Evan saw this as an opportunity to create not just a relaxing retreat, but also a hub of community activity that would encourage residents to embrace their natural surroundings. As night fell over Harmony's Lake, Evan sat by the shimmering water and watched as the sky transformed into a canvas of vibrant colors. The stars twinkled overhead, casting a magical glow across the lake, while the gentle breeze carried away the evening chill from the surrounding trees. It was then that he realized his dream had come true. He not only succeeded in transforming Harmony's Lake, but also played an instrumental role in shaping its future. The next day, as residents gathered for their HOA meeting, Karen introduced Evan and explained his vision of a sustainable community where nature and commerce coexist harmoniously. She expressed her admiration for the progress that had been made so far and highlighted some key areas where they could work together to ensure harmony between man-made structures and natural habitats. Evan listened attentively as she spoke, feeling proud but also humbled by the challenges he faced in his pursuit of this dream. He knew that there were still many obstacles to overcome, from protecting delicate ecosystems to addressing issues related to waste management and energy efficiency. However, he was determined to make Harmony's Lake a shining example of how communities could come together and work towards achieving their shared goals. As the meeting came to an end, Evan took a moment to reflect on his journey thus far and envision what the future held for Harmony's Lake. He knew that it would be up to each resident to contribute their unique perspectives, skills, and resources to help make this vision a reality. Together, they could create a sustainable community where nature and commerce complemented one another in creating a harmonious balance of beauty, recreation, education, and conservation. With renewed determination, Evan walked back into the lake's embrace, ready to embark on yet another chapter of his journey towards achieving harmony between man-made structures and natural habitats. He knew that it would be an exciting challenge, but also filled with opportunities for growth, innovation, and sustainability, a legacy that would endure long after his footsteps left its mark. As he sat by the peaceful water, surrounded by the beauty of Harmony's Lake and the memories of this incredible journey so far, he felt grateful to have been part of it. He knew that there was still much work to be done, but also felt confident in his ability to continue making a difference for years to come, creating a community where nature and commerce could coexist harmoniously, fostering an environment where people could connect with the natural world around them while enjoying all its wonders. Harmony's Lake. Day the sun rises over the tranquil lake, casting a warm golden glow across its shimmering waters. The air is filled with the sound of birds chirping and the distant fragrance of blooming wildflowers as Karen, the HOA president, steps out onto the shore. Karen stands at the edge of the water's edge, gazing around her at the beautiful scene before her eyes. She had always been fascinated by Harmony's Lake, a serene haven nestled amidst lush forests and rolling hills. But today she finds herself facing an unexpected challenge that threatens to destroy it. Evan Miller, the founder of Harmony's Lake Community Development Corporation, HLCDC, stands on another side of the lake, his gaze fixed on Karen. The once pristine lake has been transformed into a battlefield due to Evan's relentless pursuit to seize control of its exclusive property rights and expand his business interests beyond the borders of the lakeshore. Karen knows that her challenge is not just about acquiring ownership, but also about preserving the natural beauty of Harmony's Lake for future generations. She understands that harmony between man-made structures and nature requires a delicate balance, where both can coexist without compromising the environment's health or vitality. As Karen stands there, she feels a mix of emotions: anger, frustration, determination, and hope, all stemming from her relentless pursuit to reclaim what is rightfully hers. The lake was once a peaceful spot for locals to escape their daily lives and enjoy the beauty of nature, but Evan has turned it into his personal playground, using its natural resources as collateral to finance his ambitious business ventures. Evan's plan involves transforming Harmony's Lake into an exclusive resort, complete with luxury hotels, resorts, and upscale amenities. With his massive investment in the development, he aims to create a community that not only attracts wealthy guests, but also generates significant revenue for local businesses through tourism and hospitality services. He has been quietly building up partnerships with some of the world's most renowned architects, engineers, and environmentalists to design eco-friendly structures that blend seamlessly into the natural environment. Karen knows that such a transformation would be impossible without strong community support, but she is determined not only to challenge Evan Miller's ownership, but also to establish a sustainable model for harmonious coexistence between man-made structures and nature. She understands that preserving Harmony's Lake's delicate ecosystem requires a collective effort from both the residents of the lake's shores and the local government. As Karen surveys the breathtaking view of the lake, she comes across Evan's latest acquisition, a massive mansion with an extravagant swimming pool and gardens on its premises. The sprawling property overlooks the serene waters of Harmony's Lake, providing a perfect backdrop for his luxurious business ventures. However, this new development has raised concerns among local residents who fear that it could destroy their beloved community and harm the fragile ecosystem. Karen knows she cannot let her guard down during such an important moment in the history of Harmony's Lake Community Development Corporation. She rallies her team to present a proposal to the town council on how they can work together to ensure that Evan's development does not disrupt the delicate balance between man-made structures and nature. The town council meeting convenes, with residents from all walks of life expressing their concerns about the potential loss of community amenities and environmental impact. Karen stands before them, holding a heartfelt speech filled with passion and conviction. She explains how her vision for Harmony's Lake is not just an opportunity to boost tourism, but also an effort to create a sustainable future where both man-made structures and nature coexist harmoniously. Karen presents her plan to develop the lake as a protected conservation area, with specific guidelines in place to minimize any negative impact on its natural ecosystem. The proposal includes establishing strict regulations for development projects that seek to blend seamlessly into the environment, setting aside areas of land for wildlife habitats, and implementing sustainable landscaping practices to preserve the delicate balance between man-made structures and nature. The town council members listen intently as Karen presents her case, nodding in agreement with the importance of preserving harmony between man-made structures and natural habitats. They understand that Evan's development is not just about profit, but also a responsibility towards future generations and their right to enjoy the beauty of Harmony's Lake. As the meeting concludes, Karen takes a deep breath, feeling reassured by the support she has received from her community. She knows that this is just one step in the journey towards creating a sustainable community where nature and commerce can coexist harmoniously. The next logical beats follow as Karen meets with Evan Miller to discuss their shared vision for Harmony's Lake Community Development Corporation and the potential impact of his development on the lake's delicate ecosystem. They work together to explore ways to ensure that his plans align with the town council's proposed guidelines, while also addressing community concerns about the loss of amenities. Evan, initially resistant to Karen's approach, eventually agrees to listen to her proposal and consider it in further discussions. He understands the importance of preserving the natural environment for future generations, but also recognizes the potential benefits that could come from developing a thriving business industry on its shores. Karen presents her plan with Evan, emphasizing how their joint efforts would help create an economic model that combines both conservation and tourism while promoting sustainable practices in local businesses. They discuss ways to leverage the lake's resources, such as water sports and ecotourism activities, to generate revenue for the community without compromising on environmental sustainability. Evan agrees to give Karen a chance to explore her proposal further and work together with the town council to develop a comprehensive plan that addresses their concerns while ensuring harmony between man-made structures and natural habitats. They agree to meet regularly throughout the development process to discuss any issues or challenges they might encounter, keeping in mind the importance of balance and sustainability. As Karen and Evan continue working on the proposal, she realizes how much more there is to be done in terms of community engagement and education about the need for harmony between man-made structures and nature. She recognizes that this journey will not be easy, but believes it's essential to ensure a future where both people and the environment can coexist peacefully. With renewed determination and hope, Karen embarks on her mission to create a sustainable community where nature and commerce can coexist harmoniously, fostering an environment where residents can connect with the natural world around them while enjoying all its wonders. She knows that this journey will not be without challenges, but she is committed to working towards creating a future filled with hope, sustainability, and harmony between man-made structures and nature. The /in Karen, the HOA president, had always been a dedicated advocate for preserving and protecting her community's natural environment. As she took office in 2015, she inherited an ideal setting with pristine lakes and lush greenery that welcomed visitors from all over the world. However, as time passed, cracks began to appear in this harmonious balance between man-made structures and nature. One of these inconsistencies was a private property on the outskirts of town owned by Evan Miller, a wealthy businessman who had been granted permission to develop a large residential development across the lake. The project aimed to create luxury apartments, shops, and parks while preserving the natural beauty surrounding it. The council had initially proposed a comprehensive plan that addressed their concerns about the impact of this development on local residents' quality of life, including noise pollution, increased traffic congestion, and loss of green spaces. They acknowledged that while man-made structures can provide convenience and modernity, they must be developed in harmony with nature to maintain its ecological integrity. Karen listened intently as Evan shared his vision for the development project. He had envisioned a thriving community where residents could enjoy stunning views of the lake while shopping at upscale boutiques or lounging on private beaches. However, he also recognized that this development would require significant changes to the natural environment surrounding it, including reducing water usage and minimizing stormwater runoff. As they worked together on the proposal, Karen realized just how much more there was to be done in terms of community engagement and education about the need for harmony between man-made structures and nature. She knew that a thriving and sustainable community would require the active participation of residents, businesses, and environmental organizations. Karen decided to take matters into her own hands by organizing regular meetings with the council members to discuss any issues or challenges they might encounter during the development process. These discussions were not only about addressing practical concerns, but also about raising awareness among local residents about the importance of preserving the natural environment for future generations. One day, Karen invited Evan and some of his business partners to a community meeting at the park where he planned to present his vision for the development project. The event was attended by a diverse group of people from different backgrounds, including homeowners, property owners, environmental activists, and local businesses. As they sat around the picnic table under the shade of towering trees, Karen began her presentation with an inspiring story about the devastating effects of pollution on our environment. She explained how human activities like deforestation, industrialization, and urbanization have led to a loss of biodiversity, air and water quality degradation, and climate change that threaten not only local ecosystems, but also entire communities. Evan listened intently as Karen shared her concerns about the impact of the development project on the natural environment. He recognized the importance of finding a balance between man-made structures and nature, especially in sensitive areas like the lakefront where residents relied heavily on water resources for daily activities such as swimming, fishing, and boating. To address these concerns, Evan proposed several measures that could be taken to minimize their impact on the natural environment. He emphasized the need for increased green spaces, such as gardens, walking trails, and public parks, to provide residents with a place where they can connect with nature while enjoying all its wonders. Moreover, he suggested implementing sustainable landscaping practices, like rainwater harvesting, native plant selection, and mulching, that could help conserve water resources. Karen was particularly impressed by Evan's proposal for the development project's impact on stormwater runoff management. He explained how a properly designed drainage system would reduce the amount of polluted water that enters local rivers and streams, thereby minimizing its potential to pollute nearby communities. As they continued discussing these ideas during lunch break, Karen struck up a conversation with one resident who had lived in the area for several decades, but was concerned about the noise pollution generated by Evan's development project. She shared her experiences of living in an apartment overlooking the lake and how it felt like being constantly bombarded with loud construction work. Evan listened intently as she explained how his vision would minimize these disturbances while preserving the natural beauty surrounding it. He proposed a range of measures, including noise barriers, soundproofing walls, and public awareness campaigns to educate residents about the importance of maintaining peaceful coexistence between man-made structures and nature. Karen felt inspired by Evan's proposal for reducing noise pollution during their subsequent meeting at the park. She encouraged him to work with local authorities to implement these measures as soon as possible, emphasizing that every small step towards harmony between man-made structures and nature was crucial in creating a sustainable community where residents could connect with the natural world around them while enjoying all its wonders. Over lunchtime, Evan returned to Karen's office to present his updated proposal for the development project. As they discussed it further, he emphasized the importance of engaging local stakeholders, including environmental organizations, property owners, and businesses, in the planning process to ensure that their concerns were heard and addressed effectively. Karen knew that this was a crucial step towards creating a sustainable community where man-made structures and nature could coexist harmoniously. She encouraged Evan to work with these groups to develop an inclusive and participatory plan that recognized their perspectives and expertise. The council members, impressed by Evan's proposal for the development project and its potential impact on preserving the natural environment, agreed to hold another meeting at a community center where they would discuss further details of the proposed plans. They agreed to prioritize green spaces, noise management, and education initiatives as essential components of their final plan, while working together towards creating a sustainable community that respected both man-made structures and nature. Karen was thrilled about this new opportunity to collaborate with Evan and his team in shaping their vision for the development project. She knew that it would require significant effort from everyone involved, but also offered her support, understanding, and encouragement as they worked towards achieving their shared goals. As Karen prepared for the meeting at the community center, she couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement about the potential impact this new plan could have on creating a sustainable future. She believed that by embracing harmony between man-made structures and nature, her HOA would be able to foster an environment where residents could connect with the natural world around them while enjoying all its wonders. The council members arrived at the community center feeling inspired by Evan's proposal for the development project and their commitment towards creating a sustainable future. They listened intently as Karen shared further details of the proposed plans, highlighting key components such as green spaces, noise management, and education initiatives. One resident expressed his concerns about the impact that the development would have on local wildlife habitats, especially during construction activities. He mentioned how birds were often observed flying overhead or nesting in trees near the lakefront, which he feared could be negatively impacted by the project's construction work. Evan listened intently as Karen explained how their proposed measures for noise management would minimize these disturbances while preserving the natural beauty surrounding it. She highlighted the importance of using soundproofing walls and public awareness campaigns to educate residents about the impact of pollution on wildlife habitats, encouraging them to adopt more eco-friendly practices in their daily lives. Another resident expressed his concerns regarding the potential displacement of local businesses that relied heavily on water resources for their operations. He mentioned how a lack of proper management systems could lead to an increase in stormwater runoff and increased flooding during wet periods, which would negatively impact nearby communities' infrastructure and residents' quality of life. Evan listened intently as Karen shared her proposals for ensuring the sustainable use of natural resources while preserving local businesses' operations. She emphasized the importance of implementing water conservation measures, such as rainwater harvesting and efficient irrigation systems, to minimize stormwater runoff and preserve wetlands that serve crucial functions in maintaining water quality. Karen knew that these concerns would require a comprehensive approach involving multiple stakeholders, including environmental organizations, property owners, and local businesses. She encouraged Evan and his team to engage with these groups to develop an inclusive and participatory plan that recognized their perspectives and expertise. The council members, feeling the weight of these issues on their shoulders, decided to hold another meeting at a community center where they would discuss further details of the proposed plans. They agreed to prioritize green spaces, noise management, and education initiatives as essential components of their final plan, while working together towards creating a sustainable community that respected both man-made structures and nature. Evan presented his updated proposal for the development project, highlighting key features such as an extensive network of public parks, green roofs, and urban gardens. He explained how these amenities would provide residents with opportunities to engage in outdoor activities while promoting sustainability and environmental awareness. Karen listened intently as Evan shared further details about their proposed measures for noise management during construction work. She highlighted the importance of using soundproofing walls and public awareness campaigns to educate residents about the impact of pollution on wildlife habitats, encouraging them to adopt more eco-friendly practices in their daily lives. The council members also discussed the potential impacts of climate change on local ecosystems and how Evan's proposed measures for energy-efficient buildings would help reduce greenhouse gas emissions while preserving natural resources. They recognized that a sustainable future required collective action from everyone involved, including individuals, businesses, and governments. Evan presented his proposal for integrating renewable energy sources into their development plan, such as solar panels and wind turbines, to minimize the impact of climate change on local ecosystems and contribute towards global efforts toward reducing greenhouse gas emissions. He emphasized the importance of engaging with relevant stakeholders. Not Peaceful Lake turned into a battleground when Karen, the HOA president, challenged Evan Miller's ownership, trying to seize his private property. The tranquil waters of Lake Harmony were once home to numerous fish and wildlife species. But years ago, an industrial complex had been built on its shores, turning it into a sprawling industrial park with towering factories, warehouses, and offices. As the construction work progressed, residents began to notice disturbing changes in the lake's ecosystem. Fish populations dwindled, birds disappeared from their habitats, and water quality decreased significantly due to excessive pollution caused by industrial waste and chemical runoff from nearby industries. The noise levels were unbearable during construction activities, with workers using loud machines and generators late into night, disrupting local residents' sleep patterns and disturbing wildlife. The impact was not limited to the lake's ecosystem. It also affected the health of nearby residential communities. Residents began experiencing respiratory problems due to excessive air pollution caused by factory emissions and chemical runoff from nearby landfills. The noise levels were so high that they would wake up neighbors, causing disruptions in their daily routines. Karen, who had always been a strong advocate for environmental sustainability and community engagement, became determined to challenge Evans' ownership of the lake property. She believed that his proposal was not only illegal, but also unethical, as it violated local zoning laws and regulations aimed at preserving natural habitats and ecosystems. Evan, on the other hand, maintained that he was entitled to use the land despite its environmental impact due to a legal purchase from a developer who had obtained permission for development on the lake. He argued that the industrial complex was necessary for the economic growth of the region and claimed that his proposal would create jobs, boost local economies, and contribute towards community well-being. Karen's challenge soon became an international affair as her actions gained widespread attention through social media platforms like the Bureau and Reddit. Local residents from across the globe expressed their concerns about the environmental impact of construction activities on their community's health and quality of life, urging for a halt to Evans' proposal and demanding that he comply with local regulations. The council members at Lake Harmony were divided over Karen's challenge, with some arguing for her cause, while others supporting Evans' position. They delved into the legal aspects of property ownership, reviewing case law on environmental impacts during construction activities. The town hall debates reached a heated pitch as community leaders hashed out the pros and cons of each proposal. Karen's campaign to challenge Evans' ownership received significant support from local environmental organizations, labor unions, and concerned citizens who recognized their role in promoting sustainability and protecting natural resources. She organized protests, rallies, and online campaigns, using social media to raise awareness about the issue and mobilize public opinion against Evans' proposal. The impact of Karen's campaign was palpable as residents began to rally behind her cause, calling for a moratorium on construction activities until environmental regulations were fully implemented. They rallied at local parks, green roofs, and urban gardens where they could enjoy outdoor activities while promoting sustainability and environmental awareness. Local businesses also joined the chorus in support of Karen's proposal, advocating for responsible development practices that minimize harm to natural habitats and promote public health. Some companies even pledged to invest in sustainable infrastructure such as solar panels and wind turbines, contributing towards a more environmentally friendly future. Evan, meanwhile, struggled with mounting pressure from both sides. He received criticism from environmental organizations and community leaders who argued that his proposal was not only illegal, but also unethical due to its violation of local zoning laws and regulations aimed at preserving natural habitats and ecosystems. Some even accused him of profiting off the destruction of a beloved lake ecosystem. Evans' internal conflict deepened as he grappled with the ethical implications of his actions. He considered the impact on the environment, wildlife, and public health while also considering the economic benefits that could be derived from using the land for development. He realized that his proposal was not just about property ownership, but a call to action for collective responsibility towards environmental sustainability. In an attempt to strike a compromise between Karen's campaign and Evans' position, they reached out to local authorities for guidance on how to address the concerns raised by both sides. The town hall debate became even more contentious as the council members faced pressure from community leaders, labor unions, and concerned citizens who demanded that their voices be heard. After months of negotiations, a compromise was struck. Evans' proposal would be subject to strict environmental regulations aimed at preserving natural habitats and ecosystems, while also ensuring that it did not pose an excessive risk to public health. The council members agreed to implement stricter noise restrictions during construction work hours, requiring workers to use soundproofing walls and public awareness campaigns to educate residents about the impact of pollution on wildlife habitats. In exchange for Evans' compliance with environmental regulations, Karen was granted a temporary injunction preventing him from using the land until its condition had been restored. The council also proposed implementing zoning laws that would prohibit any further development in the lake area without considering the impact on natural habitats and ecosystems. The compromise reached by both parties marked a significant turning point for Lake Harmony, as it recognized the importance of protecting their community's environment while ensuring economic growth. It represented a recognition of the interconnectedness between human activities, environmental health, and public well-being, highlighting the need to prioritize sustainability in all aspects of urban development. Karen's campaign continued to gain momentum as local residents took action to restore the lake ecosystem and promote sustainable practices in their daily lives. They organized cleanup campaigns, planted native plants, and encouraged community gardens in areas adjacent to the construction site. The town hall debates became even more passionate as citizens came together to defend their beloved lake and advocate for a greener future. The council members at Lake Harmony were faced with an ongoing challenge when they had to balance the need for economic growth with environmental conservation. They understood that it was not possible to achieve both goals simultaneously, but they also recognized the potential benefits of sustainable development practices in promoting community well-being and preserving natural resources. In a final act of compromise, the council members adopted a series of policies aimed at encouraging developers to incorporate renewable energy sources into their development plans, such as solar panels and wind turbines. They encouraged Evans' proposal for integrating these technologies by providing financial incentives and technical assistance to local businesses that committed to using sustainable practices in their operations. The adoption of these policies represented the town hall debate's ultimate victory over environmental regulations and challenged Evans' argument that his proposal was not only illegal but also unethical due to its violation of local zoning laws. It marked a turning point, demonstrating that even powerful developers could be held accountable for their actions when it came to protecting natural habitats and promoting sustainability. The lake ecosystem slowly began to recover from the impacts of construction activities, while Evans' controversial proposal remained on hold. The town hall debate served as a catalyst for change in urban development policies, inspiring local communities worldwide to prioritize environmental conservation over economic growth. As Karen's campaign gained momentum, her vision became an inspiration for millions of people around the world who recognized that protecting their community's environment was not just about individual rights, but also about collective responsibility towards a sustainable future. In conclusion, the Lake Harmony Town Hall debate represented a turning point in the fight against environmental regulations and unethical development practices. It highlighted the interdependence between human activities, natural habitats, and public health, emphasizing the need for responsible urban planning to balance economic growth with environmental conservation. The compromise reached by Karen's campaign and Evans' position served as a reminder of the power of community engagement and collective action in shaping the future of our planet. The battle over Lake Harmony demonstrated that progress is possible when individuals, businesses, and governments come together to address pressing issues facing their communities. It represented a beacon for sustainable development practices, inspiring local residents to embrace eco-friendly habits while advocating for policies that promote environmental protection at all levels of society. The town hall debate's outcome marked the beginning of a new chapter in urban planning, one where sustainability is not just about individual rights, but also about collective responsibility towards creating a better future for generations to come. EXT, Lakeside Cemetery, day the sun sets over the tranquil lake, casting a warm glow upon the serene surroundings as Karen walks along its edge, her mind filled with determination and resolve. She stands at the foot of an ancient gravestone, holding the hand of a young woman who was buried there years ago. Karen strides up to Evan Miller, a prominent businessman with a silver-studded beard and piercing blue eyes that seemed almost inhuman due to his dedication to environmental conservation efforts. The two men eye each other warily as Karen steps forward, her voice steady but firm. Karen, urgently. Evan, I'm here today on behalf of the Lake Harmony Community Association, LCA. We have a crucial matter at hand that affects our town's future and your livelihood. Evan looks up from his computer screen, studying the woman's gravestone before replying with an uncharacteristic defensive tone. Evan, lighthearted. Karen, it's not about me. It's about the lake. The lake is a vital part of our community's identity, and we all rely on its natural resources for our daily lives. Karen, nodding. I know that, but you cannot afford to ignore the growing concerns surrounding environmental regulations and unethical development practices. Our town has been grappling with water scarcity due to industrial pollution and loss of wetlands, which not only affects aquatic ecosystems, but also poses risks to human health. Evan's face darkens as he looks across the lake at his own property on the other side, where a luxurious mansion stands tall, its windows shattered by illegal construction activities. He knows that these developments have led to soil contamination and water pollution, threatening the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Karen, engagedly, and now you're proposing to buy this land for your business venture? It seems like a reckless disregard for our town's future. Evan's gaze shifts towards Karen, his expression growing somber. I understand your concern, but my decision was not based on personal gain or... He pauses before continuing, taking a deep breath before speaking. Evan, lighthearted, my business is about creating sustainable solutions that benefit both the environment and local communities. I have always been committed to preserving natural habitats and protecting our town's unique heritage. The lake community has long recognized Evan as a visionary leader who advocates for eco-friendly practices, with his company investing in renewable energy projects and implementing pollution control measures. His efforts not only reduce environmental harm, but also contribute to the economic growth of Lake Harmony. Karen, nodding. Yes, you have made significant progress in this regard, Evan. Your commitment to sustainability has resonated among our community members, who are now more aware of their impact on the environment and willing to take action. Evan nods thoughtfully as he turns his attention back to Karen's proposal. Evan, sincerely, I understand your perspective, Karen, but I cannot allow you to sell this land for your own gain without considering its potential consequences. The lake is not just a resource. It represents the very essence of our town and the community we call home. Karen nods, her eyes reflecting determination as she continues. Karen, affirmatively, I understand that the lake holds immense value for us all, Evan, but I am willing to work towards a compromise that balances your business interests with environmental conservation efforts. We can achieve this by implementing stricter regulations and collaborating with local authorities to address illegal construction activities. Evan looks at Karen skeptically but then nods again, understanding her position. Evan, grateful. I appreciate the effort you're putting in, Karen. Let's sit down together and discuss a plan that addresses your concerns while also addressing our shared values for Lake Harmony and its environment. The two men walk towards an old oak table set against a backdrop of lush trees, their conversation filled with passion and determination. As they sit across from each other, they begin to brainstorm ideas about how to address the issues raised by Karen's proposal. Evans suggests that the LCA formulates a comprehensive environmental impact assessment, EIA, before granting any new development permits in the lake area. This would provide an objective overview of the potential harm caused by illegal construction activities and identify areas for mitigation. Karen, nodding, that's a great idea, Evan. A thorough EIA could help us assess the extent of environmental damage already done and propose measures to mitigate it before any further development occurs. Evan nods in agreement as he adds, "We also need to work with local authorities to enforce existing regulations and ensure that construction sites adhere to strict codes for waste management and pollution control." Karen agrees, highlighting the importance of collaboration between government agencies and private sector companies. She proposes establishing a task force dedicated to monitoring illegal activities, enforcing environmental laws, and providing support for affected communities. Evan nods once more, acknowledging Karen's determination while emphasizing that this is only the first step in addressing the issue. Evan, seriously, we need to begin by raising awareness among residents about their role in protecting our lake. We can organize workshops, seminars, and educational campaigns to educate them on environmental regulations, sustainable practices, and their impact on the ecosystem. Karen nods thoughtfully as she listens, her eyes fixed on Evan's face. Karen, firmly. Moreover, we must encourage local businesses to adopt eco-friendly initiatives that reduce waste, conserve resources, and promote environmentally responsible practices. This could include providing incentives for companies that invest in renewable energy projects or implementing recycling programs. Evan nods again as he adds his thoughts. The transition towards a sustainable economy is crucial not just for the long-term health of our lake, but also for ensuring its resilience against climate change. Karen looks at Evan, her eyes shining with determination. Karen, resolutely, we cannot afford to ignore this issue any longer, Evan. The fate of Lake Harmony and its inhabitants depends on it. Let's work together as a community, implementing measures that protect our lake while supporting the growth of businesses committed to eco-friendly practices. Evan nods in agreement, his eyes locking onto Karen's words before turning back towards the gravestone where he had left off. Evan, Karen stood in front of a small crowd gathered around the grave site, her heart heavy with emotion. She had spent years working towards this moment, tirelessly advocating for the protection and preservation of Lake Harmony, the cherished community landmark that was at the center of her HOA presidency.